that we should stop these Jews from controlling our country. That isn't violence.
What they do quite often is they'll, look for vulnerable young people and attempt to recruit them.
Lamb and Lynx, about 12 or 13 years old, and we just actually released their first CD. More like folk music. They just play a few instruments like this and sing, and they even go, without music, a cappella.
Strike force, white survival, strike force, yeah. Strike force, gonna kill a rival, strike force, into the devil's lair.
The National Alliance's biggest money spinner, Resistance Records, broke into the music market with this founding mission statement.
To get millions of young white Americans and Europeans to make resistance music their music of choice, instead of the negroid filth churned out by MTV.
I'm Eric Glebe, here in front of the National Alliance headquarters in rural, beautiful Hillsboro, West Virginia. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Resistance Records, and I'd like to introduce to you my lovely wife, Erica.
I'm Erica Glebe, his wife and official T-shirt designer for Resistance Records and his right-hand woman.
Before joining the National Alliance, Erica was High Priestess of the First United Church of Adolf Hitler and a Playboy playmate. Her husband Eric was a professional boxer, known affectionately as the Aryan Barbarian.
We want to use any medium that will carry our message, whether it's CDs, whether it's speeches, whether it's books, flags, posters, boots, T-shirts, pins, patches. We definitely have well over $1 million worth of inventory in this warehouse. The money that comes in from the sales of CDs, of white power CDs, definitely will be used for political projects. Our best-selling CD is Johnny Rebel. Here's a CD, Classic Klan Compositions. And this just goes to show that country music is the genre which we need to branch out into. The lyrics are very simple, but a lot of people find this music to be entertaining.
Shoot 'em up good and shoot 'em up dead. Put a big noose around that the boys are
Music is used to promote the most vile forms of racism and violence you can imagine. The ideas of creating the final solution, something that Hitler wanted to do, are very much part and parcel of this movement.
This one's Hitler says I was right.
It's more or less for entertainment value, and a number of people find that humorous.
Video games which they produce are perhaps a little bit more interesting and sophisticated. One of them is simply called Ethnic Cleansing. And it's a game which is a first-person style shooter in which the character is immersed in this world where their job is to shoot Mexican Americans, to shoot Jews, to shoot African Americans, and and try and exterminate them.
The National Alliance even has its own strange form of religion, cosmotheism, which believes in the creation of a white master race.
I think we are a perfect Aryan role model couple.
It's like people who raise thoroughbred racehorses. They want the highest bred quality of horses to breed with one another to produce the finest thoroughbred racehorse. If you can do that in the animal world, why can't you do that in the human world? I believe in the biological elevation of our people. I want to create as perfect of a race as possible. Yes, man can become God.
I choose someone to mate with on their race. It's as simple as that. It's not really complicated.
I would not want to mate with a person who is physically deformed or had some sort of genetic illness that would be carried down to my children.
When not planning the next master race, Eric and Erica work at expanding Resistance's catalogue.
Yeah, here's a demo I just got in the mail today. It's from a band called Fatherland. AH edition. Must be the Adolf Hitler edition. Let's have a listen to it here.
Hi, I'm a homosexual, and you have the flyer on my friend who's not a homosexual.
Yeah, it's Wagner in the background, and there's some, sounds like a telephone hate call.
Eric has sent thousands of demo CDs from hopeful far-right bands across the world. If accepted, Resistance Records do their global marketing.
Someone
Worst case scenario, obviously, would be if one of the many different white power bands were able to break into the mainstream, to have, Bound for Glory or one of these other bands appear on MTV and reach a mass audience with their music. That's certainly of great concern for us.
Yeah, usually I could tell within a few minutes whether this is something I want to get involved with. What I've heard so far definitely needs some work. I don't particularly care for the vocals on it. And our main thing is to grab the listener's attention with the good music as well as a good message lyrically.
Let the battle begin! When people act on the words behind the music, the consequences can be all too real.
When we saw the Benjamin Smith killings here in the Midwest, where Ben Smith, a person who doesn't fit that stereotypical image of those attracted to this movement, went on a two-state killing spree.
And the Jews and the blacks and all the mud races are trying to destroy our people, and that is why we hate them.
This man is on a spree. He's just shooting people and all over the state.
Here was an example where a young man was attracted to this movement by white power music and eventually decided to carry out his own version of a racial holy war, killing 2 and injuring more than a dozen. When he was finally stopped in downstate Illinois by police, and they found in his car weapons, ammunition, large sum of money, and a whole stack of white power compact discs. His was one of those instances where his committing the racial holy war was being fueled by the soundtracks to the White Revolution.
The National Alliance's founder wrote their best-selling book, The Turner Diaries. It became Tim McVeigh's Bible and provided him with the blueprint for the Oklahoma bombing, killing 168 men, women, and children. Attempts to start the White Revolution have happened in the UK. In April 1999, acting on his own, David Copeland, the nail bomber, attacked the gay, black and Asian communities across London. He killed 3 people and injured 139. With political aspirations in mind, the BNP has done everything they can to smarten up their image and distance themselves from the extremist behaviour. Under the leadership of Nick Griffin, they went on to win almost 1 million votes in the European elections. With the rise of immigration as an election issue, they hope for a record result.
Griffin, Nicholas, John, British National Party, 4,240.
It's good, steady progress. We go on next year to win a lot more council seats.
The BNP attribute their success to their decision to distance themselves from skinheads and boots.
Going back to, say, 1997, we looked at the party, at the state it was in then, we looked at people like the Front National and what they'd done, and we concluded that we had to legitimise ourselves before parts of the political process and the public will legitimise us. We looked at what we were doing wrong, and that includes strutting around in flight jackets and big boots. So, yeah, we consciously got rid of them.
But the BNP's makeover has been damaged by some in their ranks who, in private, remain old school. Scott McLean, the party's deputy leader, recently led a Nazi camp in Scotland.
One, two, three,
In spite of events like this, the BNP made remarkable gains in last year's council elections. Their vote around England's skinhead capital, Heanor near Nottingham, increased 7-fold. Operating out of Heanor are one of the biggest bands in the white power scene, Whitelaw. On the eve of a European tour, the band get together to rehearse.
I want you to White Power Road,
The white power music scene is very diverse. Everybody just thinks, oh, a load of skinheads in a bar, jumping around, blah, blah, blah. And it's not at all. I mean, you've got like all types of different bands. You've progressive rock bands, you've got thrash metal bands, you've got skinhead bands.
It explains yourself, really. We're in our country, like, you do a drop of Whitelaw. We feel that real strongly about capital punishment in this country. So the noose is our sign.